LRA leader has been tried by the country's own judicial system. Daniel Dazi, BBC News.
Well, Benson Ongom is a Ugandan journalist who's been following the trial closely. He's joining us now from Gulu. Benson, thanks for your time on this. Briefly tell us a bit about what happened in court.
I think what we saw in court today was a moment of desperation, a moment of hope and relief from the different people. What we saw from the accused, Thomas Kwoyelo's desperation, and you could see it from his eyes and his face when the judges were reading him the verdict, and you could tell how desperate to be found innocent or to be let go home, but also from the victim side, from what we saw, the desperation for justice, because again, from the Dominic Ongwen's trial away from home and Kwoyelo's trial being done from Gulu, you could really tell a sigh of relief from very many of them.
And you've kind of waded into this already, but how significant would you say this ruling is, in Uganda?
I think for the region to be particular, I think it's very significant for a region that has gone through 20 years of war, but again, also for the region that have been wanting to find answers. Every day they pray for answers. For the Dominic Ongwen's case, there's reparation on that. But for Kwoyelo's case, there's no reparation on that because Uganda do not have a law on reparation. But again, it's a milestone. Many times from the region, we have had what we call matopu, the traditional way of solving issues like this, where the victims and as well the perpetrators of the war come and says, okay, we forgive each other. But again, there have not been quite a court process of this nature, which has been tried from within, putting in mind those amnesty in the early 2000s and many of the LRA commanders who are not really in the wanting list, but they're also very much of mid-commanders given amnesty. So you really feel for the victims of the war, but also for the region, a side of relief that 20 years after the war, LRA top commander is being found guilty of some of the war crimes and crimes against humanity. It's a quite relief, but also a milestone for the justice system, but also for the victim of the war.
Okay. Benson, I want to get this one in. Has there been any response so far from Kwoyelo's legal team or from the legal team of or representatives of some of the victims?
From what we witnessed in the court and also what the lead counsel for Kwoyelo, Council Alaka, did raise up to the judges and says they need to be given time to respond to the judgment, but also putting in mind that the detailed judgment has not yet been given to the defense team. But from even prior to the court case or the court hearing today, we heard from the lead counsel and also some of the defense counsel. They were saying they will as well appeal this judgment that will be given. We don't know if they will, but from the submission that we saw towards the end of it, from the victim's lawyer, but also from the prosecution, having 44 counts on guilty, 31 dismissed, and 3 others acquitted, you find a bit of relief from the representative of defense, prosecution, but also the victim. We will see from 2 weeks from now, because court has granted some time for them to review, but they will be given the detailed judgment on Friday. After that, they will sit and see what will happen next.
Benson Ongom, thanks so much for your reporting and your analysis, sharing with us on Focus on Africa, joining us from Gulu in Uganda.